Hi everyone, today I want to show you how to load the TensorFlow models into Google Bigquery. So TensorFlow has recently released TensorFlow Hub, which contains a lot of different models, which you can see here. You have image-related models, text-related, video-related models. So today's video takes inspiration from Mr. Lak Lakshmanan, sorry if I mispronounce your name, who has a very detailed guide on how to bring in different TensorFlow models into Bigquery. Okay, so today for the video, I'll be briefly walking through what he has done and also showing you some steps that I've done troubleshooting on my own. Link to his article will be in the video description. Right, okay, so let's start. So in Mr. Lakshmanan's article, he is using this model called Civil, which we have over here. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll simply download it. Okay, and it will appear here. Okay. So if I were to look at my downloads, it will be over here. Okay, this guy. Okay, so let me unzip this. Pause to. There we go. Look at it. Put it again. Okay, sorry for everyone if I'm not doing it the right way, but this works. Alright, okay, so this is a saved TensorFlow model. So there is a save model.pb file. We have our assets, which are is a token text file, as well as variables, where we have the index and the variables data. Alright, okay, so once this is done, what we do is we'll head to Google bucket. So what I will do here is I'll create a folder that's called Civil in all the buckets. And then what I'll next would be just loading let me test this out. This one. This one's cool. Where did it go? Right, okay, yeah, so you can drag and drop the whole folder in, and it will retain the file structure. So you don't need this guy anymore. Okay, great. Okay, so once we have this guy over here, we will go to Bigquery. We'll just create a data set for TensorFlow. Okay, and what I will do is run a line which imports the model. Okay. So we'll run this line. Okay, just change the data set name to TFHub. Can leave it as Civil text and bit. And then as for the path, we look for this path. Sorry, this path, which contains the .pb file, assets, and variables folder. So copy that, go back to Bigquery, and then paste it here. Alright. Slash start. All right. So model path should be the bucket, GS, and the bucket, the folder which contains all the files, and /start. Okay. Once that's done, just run. What's happening now is that Bigquery is reading the model data and creating a TensorFlow model on Bigquery. Okay. And then we will get a successful prompt once it's done, and we can see our swivel text embed, the model that we have just created here. Right, so just to test it out, you can use this line here. Okay, and what will happen is, okay, so what we should see is a 20 an array of 20 dimensions, which is the sentence embedding for this this sentence. Right. So this is so you can use this model for doing like document similarity tests or document clustering. Okay. Right. Okay. So the next part is where we want to import other models from TensorFlow Hub. Okay, so TensorFlow Hub has a lot of other models that are available. Okay. However, there are some limitations which sort of are slightly unspoken, which is there is a size limit to the models that can be uploaded to Bigquery, so which is about 200 megabytes. So I am going to just show you the error when trying to load something that's a bit slightly too big. So I'm going to use this NNLM English model with which embeds sentences to 128 dimensions. Okay, downloading the file. In the meantime, I will also download another file which is within the size limit. So there is one called NNLM. This guy is within the size limit, so I'll download this as well. Same thing, go to our bucket and we'll drop this folder in. See. Alright, since it will take a while, why not do it and zip the 50dim one as well. Okay, and then LN 50dim. Dimensions extract as well. Cool. Still uploading. Let's upload the 50dim one. That's right. Okay. And let's wait for this guy to finish uploading. mess it up. Okay. Since I messed it up. Yeah, so if you were to look at Mr. Lakshmanan's article, he uses command prompt to sort of extract and copy the files over into a Google Cloud bucket, which works fine. I just prefer to see the files in action. That's why you see me doing this download and upload thing. Alright, let's wait for it to happen. Oh, the 50 dim one is done. Alright, let's just check. Into the dimensions, the variables have been uploaded. Alright, okay, cool. The Bigquery. Let's try to load the 128 model. Alright, so copy this path, replace this section. So just change the model name as well, NNLM _EN _dim 128. And let's see what happens. Okay, so now we will see this error prompt which says that the model size is too big, which is around 500 megabytes, whereas the maximum allowable size is probably closer to 250 megabytes. So, which means that most of the models which you see in Tensorflow Hub would be slightly too big to be directly loaded into Bigquery. So yes, do choose your models carefully before you do anything to move them to Bigquery. Alright, okay, now let's try to load the one which is the NNLM model with 50 dimensions. Okay, So I change this to 50 dim, change this to 50. Alright, okay. So what we'll see here is the error that the save model has no input specified with a serving signature, which is very annoying because this model is actually of the right within the size limit, but there's some configuration issues which doesn't allow it to be loaded into Bigquery. Okay, so one workaround for this would be to, let's go to the NNLM model. Okay. So one workaround that I found was to open a Colette notebook. Right, so this is a Colette notebook which does sentiment analysis on IMDb movie reviews. Okay, so what we will do is run the few lines, import the data set, data exploration. Okay, now while developing the models, what we will do is, by default, the model used here is the Swivel 20-dimension model. We will use the Tensorflow NNLM 50-dimension model instead. So just change this line here and load it. Alright, so it is loading. Okay, change this to 50 dimensions because the output is 50 dimensions. And we will see, based on 3 examples, you see an array of 3 by 50, three input sentences giving 50 dimension embeddings for each sentence. Alright, okay. So the next thing we'll do is to utilize this section of the code, okay, where we will comment out these 2 lines. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to export the layer which is doing the embedding as a model on its own. Okay, so we'll run this line, and what we'll see is a single layer. Alright, a single layer. Okay. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll save this model using model.save and inputting a directory which is sample underscore data under slash. So we will call it NNLM underscore din NNLM English slash and run this. Okay, refresh the folder. Oops, there we go. I saved it here. Alright, okay. So unfortunately I should have added content slash sample data, but it came here sample data. Okay, and what I what we'll do is, unfortunately from here, I have to download each of these elements individually. While we wait for the largest file to be downloaded, what I'll do is I'll create another folder here called NNLM -en_dream 128 custom. Okay, this folder. And in it, we need to replicate the folder structure of a saved TensorFlow model. So there's a folder for assets and a folder for variables. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll upload the files according to how it was saved in collab. So save model comes to the main folder. Tokens goes to assets. Save model, our assets, token is there, and our variables, variable index, and the variable data file. All that. Alright, good. Let's go back here to Bigquery. Okay, so now we will load our sorry. We are actually working on the 51, but I have named it 128. Okay, let's continue the mistake here. Alright, okay. So game 50, and then same thing, copy the path. Alright, so we are loading NNLM English dimension 50 custom model using, and the path is Tensorflow models NNLM English theme 128 custom. Sorry about the naming mistake. We will run this. Woohoo, done. Model has been created. Right, so now let's just test it out. So let's use this same sentence again, just changing the model. NNLM _en theme 50 custom. Right. Aha. Okay, so one thing to take note is that if you look at the model, the input schema, the input field name must be Kira's layer _1_input, okay, which we can change here. Kira's _layers _1_input. Run this again. 0. Okay. So same thing, the output will be Kira's _layer _1. And we will get our result of 50 dimensions over here. Right. Okay. So just coming back to our